Is there a certain public demand for negative slash controversial Novak Djokovic content? Because during the years, I've come across countless, I mean endless, negative tweets and negative articles about Novak, and I'm pretty sure that you did too. And the lamest thing about them is that they're always the same. It's always the same 4 or 5 topics. He's faking injuries. He's a faker. He's cheating with the medical timeouts. He's abusing the medical timeout rules. He's abusing the officials and the line judges and the ball kids. And the worst thing, he's just trying to get loved. He's just trying to be like Roger and Rafa. He's faking his personality. He learned 11 languages because he wants to be loved, but, he cannot do it because he naturally doesn't have the charisma and so on and so forth. So, really lame arguments. And a couple of guys are actually similar. For example, Daniil Medvedev, in my opinion, has a great personality, but he's just, hated for some reason. I don't know why. But I started to think about this problem as a news show. So let's take an average 30-minute news show and split it into positive and negative news. How many of the news are positive? How many of them are negative? I think 80 to 90% are actually negative, because there's a certain demand in the people, in the population, in certain demographics, that they want to hear about negative stuff. They want to hear about theft, war, crime, murder, abuse, cheating, and so on and so forth, because I guess some people are just wired that way. And there is a certain demographic that dislikes Novak. And that demographic is, unfortunately, I think, the highest spender in tennis. They go to tennis matches, and they're located in the area in which the tennis tournaments are played. So if the Grand Slams would be played, I think, in, let's say, Russia, India, China, and Saudi Arabia, the Novak hate would be almost non-existent, because those people actually appreciate Novak and view him as the GOAT or as a really good tennis player and do not hate him. But certain demographics in the Western society do not like Novak, and there is a demand for negative Novak content. Just think about the biggest 2 topics in the past couple of years when it comes to tennis. It was the 2020 US disqualification, 2020 US Open disqualification. Oh, Novak brutally assaulted the line judgment. And the whole deportation vaccination thing in Australia. Novak doesn't want to take the vaccine. He's an anti-vaxxer and so on and so forth. So he got deported. He went to jail and so on. So as I said, there's a certain demand. And I know this because I saw a fake Alex de Minaur account that was probably created after de Minaur beat Novak. What was that? Like a week ago or something like that. And he was getting likes. He was getting like hundreds of likes of the lamest things, like Novak bad, Roger good, Rafa good, Novak sucks. It's like, come on, man. Like, come on. These people who read this are just like, I don't know, absolutely miserable. So I was thinking about my channel. So I, right now, have 306 subscribers. I started making tennis videos again. I did like a 2-year hiatus, basically. And 70% of my content is basically tennis, and it's usually positive Novak Djokovic content. And I have limited assets because I, as you can see, don't have a proper camera and don't have a proper microphone. So what if I would make negative Novak content? Would I get like 2,000 subscribers? Would I have like 3,000 subscribers? Would I get like 50,000 views on those videos? Would I get a lot of likes, a lot of popularity? Would the algorithm actually like me a bit more than he likes me right now? And actually probably would. And there is a certain reward in that, because let's say I was making a living off of writing content. Like, let's say I was an actual content creator. It doesn't matter if I'm a YouTuber or a writer or something like that. Actually, I would get more money if I would write negative Djokovic content. So if I'm neutral, if I don't really care, I'm like a casual tennis fan, but I like money, basically, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's actually worth it to write negative Novak Djokovic content. So that's the saddest thing about it. But what pissed me off, really, is this charity event. So not the charity event, but the things that happened on that. So Novak is having fun with Stefanos Tsitsipas, with cricket players, with Bardosa, with Sabalenka, with wheelchair guys, with kids, and so on. He's playing cricket, basketball, tennis, wheelchair, whatever. And it's just, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. There's a bunch of comments of like, oh, he's doing this because he wants to be loved. He's speaking 11 languages because he wants to be loved. Like, dude, this guy just has a personality. Like, I don't know, maybe you don't have a personality, so you cannot, recognize when somebody's actually a genuinely funny guy, has, hobbies and a personality and goals in life, and is not miserable like you. But my God, I just do not understand how you can, during a charity event, talk shit about somebody who's basically the number one star of that charity event, bringing money to kids, helping everybody out, in a country that deported him 2 years ago. So I don't know, how can you possibly hate on that guy? It makes no sense. It's like, dude, we had truce during World War I, during Christmas in 1914, biggest war in human history at that point, second biggest war of all time. And the German and the French soldiers were like chilling and celebrating Christmas together in the trenches. We had, in ancient Greece, we had a no-war policy during the Olympic Games. And then you make negative comments about Novak during charity matches, charity games. So it's absolutely ridiculous. And I feel like Novak can do no right. Like, there are some guys who can apparently do no wrong. Novak is the reverse of that. He can do no right. So if he gets injured, it's a harassment. He's faking an injury. If Rafa gets injured, Rafa is injured, apparently. If he learns 11 languages, he's a faker. If Roger learns 6 languages, he's a great guy. He cannot be a funny guy because that's faking a personality. Apparently, he can maybe cure cancer, but some people are going to tell him that, hey, you shouldn't have done this because now there's going to be an overpopulation in the human history or on the human planet, on planet Earth, and this is going to be negative. He can stop all the wars in the world, and people are going to say, well, now the industry is going to suffer, and now men are going to become soft because there's not going to be a war to fight, and, that's in the nature of men to fight wars. So apparently Novak can do nothing right. And I don't know, it's just funny. I guess it happened to a couple of guys in sports history. For example, Lewis Hamilton used to be a guy who was undisputed, well, not undisputed, but really hated. And then, now that he's maybe not that good, he's not driving a great car, he's just, almost like he's starting to be loved. It's kind of weird. Like, I'm pretty sure that Novak, when he's finally washed off, when he's finally going to be retiring or retired, some people are going to start missing him. The people who are hating on him are going to be like, well, now this guy's gone. Now this guy is kind of not that good. Well, what am I going to talk about? Like, we have Alcaraz, we have Sinner, which is fine, whatever, but there is not that guy who I can hate on. So I almost miss him. So it's just really weird. It's just really weird, the human psychology when it comes to sports, when it comes to tennis, and when it comes to Novak. Anyways, let me know in the comment section what do you think, and peace out.